Now we're going to do the Black Box Awards. I'd like to welcome to the stage a brilliant, kind and compassionate man, Mr. Brian May.
And the first Black Box Award goes to David Basketel.
So I've been involved in developing refinement and reduction alternatives and learning about the process of replacing original animal tests, and then use that experience to help the new scientists developing in vitro alternatives to go through that process. And in that role I've been involved in chairing committees at the European Centre for Validation of Alternative Methods, for example. When I first learned that I was getting this, it was just wonderful, because I've worked in the area for such a long time, so it's fabulous to have the recognition.
And the second award goes to Frank Gerberich.
The work that we developed was developing a chemistry-based in vitro assay for skin sensitization. And the work was really designed to look at the ability of a chemical's ability to react with protein as a way to model allergenicity. To be able to get this recognition of the work that we've done and seeing that other people find it of value is very special.
Third award goes to Roger Emter.
Developed an in vitro test which is based on a cell line to measure the reactivity of chemicals with proteins. It's a big honor to receive such a prize. I would have never expected that whatever in my life.
Fourth award goes to Terry Schultz.
I was fortunate enough to coordinate phase 2 development of the OECD QSAR toolbox. And one of the things we were looking at was novel ways of forming chemical categories. And I told my boss, Bob Dietrich, this ALP thing is going to be important. The prize money means that I now have the opportunity to take the adverse outcome pathway to its logical conclusion. And it is the refinement of the pathway within the OECD QSAR toolbox.
The Black Box Award is £150,000 and it goes to the OECD's Adverse Outcome Pathway Project.
I think this is a recognition of the work that we have been doing at OECD to try to replace animal tests by non-animal tests, be them in vitro tests or predictive methods to assess the toxicity of chemicals. It means that we can develop these adverse outcome pathways and take them to the next step. Can we now develop the methodologies for testing chemicals that are not reliant on animals and that allow us to screen hundreds or thousands of chemicals in a very short time.
The first Training Award Prize winner is PETA International Science Consortium.
We do a number of different things. For example, we've been working on webinar series and workshops, and we also provide a lot of online resources. Another thing that we've been doing is initiating training for regulators on how to use in vitro methods. We're really happy to have additional resources to put towards our work towards eliminating tests on animals, and very pleased to be part of the Lush Prize.
I'm here to present the second of the training awards, and that is to Dmitry Lepowski from the Ukraine.
I can't express here how much I'm grateful for the prize and for the opportunity to come to London tonight. I've been working for over 8 years in the Ukraine, in other ex-USSR countries like Belarus, Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, to implement humane alternatives to animal experiments, to education and training. I'm very much honored to get this prize, and I think it will help to save many more lives of animals and also will significantly enhance the quality of education in these countries.
This is such a wonderful category for us to have. I mean, the young scientists are the inspiration. They're what make us keep doing this, because we can see that there's all this young talent and skill coming through, and it's really good. So well done to all of you. And the first award goes to Elena Kuma from Italy.
my project is to provide simple in vitro methods based on the use of a human cell line and able to provide potency information and also for the evaluation of skin potential of chemicals. This is a great opportunity for me to work another year in my toxicology lab and to go on with this project.
So the second world-leading young scientist is being uncovered.
I'm working on the development of alternative methods for skin sensitization, and during the literature review for my PhD project, I realized that most in vitro methods use animal-derived products, which seems to be a contradiction in terms of alternative methods. And the most common is fetal bovine serum. In this project, we want to adapt a cell line to a serum-free culture media, a chemically defined media, so we can see if these cells respond in the same way as in the validated in vitro method, so you can update this in vitro method for an entirely free of animal use. This prize is really important so I can develop the project, so the money will be used to buy all the ingredients, the reagents for the test.
And the third Young Researcher Award goes to Jeremy Kaplan from the USA.
I'm working on a biomimetic microsystem that is modeled after the placenta and testing this as sort of an alternative to animal testing right now. The next couple stages are going to be very expensive. We were talking about fluorescent dyes, ELISA assays, so a lot of very expensive things, and this money is going to go towards that. Now I'm very honored to be accepting this award on behalf of my lab at Iowa State and Seoul National University.
The fourth one is Ilka Maschmeyer from Germany.
I'm working on a field that is called organs on a chip. So we are trying to, in a microfluidic, emulate the bloodstream going around and then combining different organs together. Up to 10 organs, we are working on this at the moment so that we can really replace animal models in drug testing. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity and go on with my research.
The fifth Young Researcher Award this year goes to Dr. Lena Smanova from the Centre for Alternatives to Animal Testing in Baltimore.
Our work is around developmental neurotoxicity, and we believe that certain neurological disorders like autism or Parkinson's disease cannot be explained only by the genetics, but rather than exposure to environmental chemicals play a significant role in disease development. And we try to understand and identify those gene-environmental interactions. For this reason, we use 3D brain human-relevant models in combination with high-contact technologies. This is really amazing to get it because we can do more research, more experiments, and get amazing results from it.
And last but not least, the 2015 Young Researcher Award to Laura Bray from Germany.
My research is focused upon making more biologically and physiologically relevant models for cell culture. The majority of cell culture methods that are not in animals, just in the cell culture lab, is usually done on a plastic two-dimensional surface. And this is not the same as what is in the human body. It doesn't replicate it at all. And of course, therefore, toxicology tests are very different. And so we're trying to incorporate more of the supporting cell structure and tissue structure to make a more relevant model for toxicology testing, and also for investigating the development of cancer in vitro as well. I'm feeling very honored to receive this award. It means a lot to me, and the prize money will really help my research in the future.
The next award is for public awareness.
And the first award goes to Beagle Freedom Project from the United States.
Beagle Freedom Project's Identity Campaign is a new effort that allows members of the public to symbolically adopt a dog or cat who's actually in a laboratory. People get an adoption certificate with the name that they chose for that animal, and then they submit freedom of information requests to the laboratories to find out what kinds of tests are going on, if the animal's still alive, and if he or she is, then these people also pressure the laboratory to release that animal to a loving home. And what this all does is helps build empathy so that people can identify with these these animals and learn what's happening to them and learn what kinds of abuses are sadly commonplace in laboratories. Animal experimentation cannot survive transparency, and once we hold these laboratories accountable and force them to open their doors so that the public sees what actually happens, then they're almost always against it. And that's what these funds can help us do, is file legal complaints to open up these laboratories and end the secrecy around vivisection.
And the second joint winner for the Public Awareness Prize for 2015 goes to Soko Tierschutz from Germany.
The work of Soko Tierschutz is constituted mostly of undercover investigations. We go to farms or to animal laboratories. We take footage there, and our mission is to show the real circumstances behind the walls. The prize money means a lot to our organization. This award shows that people who came to the demos made a difference.
And the winner of the lobbying prize is Mojo Mathers, a Green Party MP from New Zealand. I wanted to add that Mojo is not accepting the financial aspect of the award, which this year has enabled Lush to award the 6 Young Researcher Prizes.
I would basically campaign for 2 years to lobby the government to bring in a ban on animal testing of cosmetics. It is a real honour to be given this award and to have the work that I did recognised in this way. Sometimes it's very tough being a politician, and so this gives me the strength to continue what I've been doing and to keep being a voice for those who haven't got a voice in Parliament.
The final award of the night is for science.
The winner of this £25,000 prize is Onthis from Switzerland.
We are working on lung cancer research, and we have established an in vitro human three-dimensional lung cancer model to test the efficacy of new anti-cancer treatments, but also their cytotoxicity. I think that this kind of support is critical to convince people that we can achieve good science without using animals.
I have got the pleasure of presenting the final prize, which will go to Professor Michael Schuller.
We're trying to build a model which will mimic the human body as closely as possible in terms of testing primarily pharmaceuticals, but also chemicals with toxicity. It's a great honor to have this award and this recognition.